It has been too long. I honestly can't even remember the last time I did one of these videos. The last time I sat in front of a camera that isn't a stream where I talk to you guys. So much has changed in that time, but that is for another video. We have a very interesting topic I'm pretty sure you saw by the name of the video. The greatest player in MVCI history. There's a little bit of a discussion to be had there. But before we get into that, please guys, if this is your first time ever watching one of my videos, please consider subscribing if you haven't done so yet. Please turn on those notifications and let me know who is your greatest player for MVCI of all time is in the comment section below. I miss you guys. Also, I forgot to mention, we do have a lot of these discussions when I do stream. So if you want to have your input live on stream when I go live, make sure you guys check out my channel at twitch.tv/evilwenster. I'm going to put all my social media accounts in the description, so you guys please go check that out. Let's get into today's discussion. Who is the greatest of all time when it comes to MVCI? Who is the GOAT? Now keep in mind guys, a lot of these players' names that I'm about to mention are my personal opinions. So if you want to leave your thoughts, your concerns, leave them in the comment section below. I love reading a lot of you guys' input. I think there are a few names when it comes to the running of the greatest of all time in MVCI. I think we also have to analyze first of what does greatest of all time mean. Now to me, it means personally, who are the players that changed the game? And not just change the game, but revolutionize it. People who were pioneers and what they were doing. And I think it's easy to say one of the first players that comes to mind is Cyber Japan agent CJA. Unfortunately, CJA, to my knowledge, doesn't play too often. A lot of his YouTube channel was deleted. He, ventured off into different avenues. My man came to the community with a very revolutionizing team, right? He was playing Dormammu Dante Space. Now, at that point in time, a lot of the meta was centered around Dante. Dante was always a strong character, but no one was really utilizing him to his full extent. And what I mean by that is the super and tag mechanic. For those who don't know, super and tag means when you do a super move and then you tag with your other character with mechanics of MVCI. Dante has a really long super called $1 million. So you do easy super, which is 2 attack buttons, and then you do the tag at the same time. So that gives you enough time to do 20-30 mix-ups. Now, people were doing this before CJ. My man was just swinging with Dante, doing Helmbreaker teleport, Killer Bee teleport, and for those who don't know, those are moves with Dante. Killer Bee doing a angle dive that ground bounces, and Helmbreaker being a move that comes down straight down and does a ground bounce, which you could combo off of. There were such big normals, so what CJA did is he teleported and hit you with the 50-50 at any point in the screen. He would hit you 50-50 coming down, he would hit you at an angle. It was literally time to guess. Now, when that did not work, what my man did is just went for super and tag and was relentless. And that single-handedly changed the game, because at that point in time, there was one player that we are going to discuss about that was trying to change that. You don't need to waste super meter just to get a hit. But CJ showed up, destroyed the United States. I personally think CJ, arguably one of the greatest of all time. The next player in my list for arguably greatest of all time when it comes to MVCI is Stealth. Now, the one thing, and by no means this is any shot at Nico, the one thing that CJA does have over Nico is his legacy. Even though CJ currently, to my knowledge, does not actively play, CJA came and redefined the way we look at things when it comes to MVCI, changed the meta, changed how we look at characters, and changed what we could do. Nico has been a very dominating player for the last 2-3 years. I understand that COVID has happened. There have been events that unfortunately were canceled. A lot of the top players would make that argument that there aren't a lot of people who could, trade evenly with Stealth. My man has been dominating for the last 3 years. Nico has been very dominating on the online scene as well. He has won literally every single event that I have personally family run, whether it be online or in person. And it just goes to show you how strong he really is, and definitely in the running for one of the greatest players of all time. What I wanted to speak about was Dual Kevin, a very, very strong individual. He plays Dante Hawkeye Space, and at the time, early on in the game, Dual Kevin was dominating in America, where CJA was dominating in Japan. Now, their eventual clash was destined to happen. It happened at Pasadena Regionals in a 1st to 15, Dual Kevin versus CJA, and that's where we first saw how deadly CJA's playstyle, his abuse of certain game mechanics can work. Where Dual Kevin was trying to stop a lot of the community from wasting the meter for super and tagging, he was a very defensive player and still is, and a lot of his defensive skills also reflected in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, where he played Hawkeye, Dante, Deadpool. Fortunately, Dual Kevin just doesn't play anymore, and even then, if CJA or Dual Kevin decided to pick up the controller one more time and practice up, within a month or so, if that, and they would be back to their dominating stature. Dual Kevin tried to change the game from how oppressive and how aggro it is to a more defensive style, and saw major success. A lot of the defensive tools that he was trying to implement, unfortunately in MVCI, just aren't strong as the aggro ones. Spending the meter to get 5-4 mix-ups in quick fashion without the opponent being able to retaliate in any kind of manner is too strong of a tool to ignore. In conclusion, those three players, CJ, Stealth, Dual Kevin, are some of the best players to ever touch the game when it comes to MVCI. Now, my personal pick has to do a lot with lineage. Best player of all time, it has to go to CJA. CJA's change and his playstyle when he first came to the community just revolutionized too much to ignore. How he played, what he did, and the top players that he beat. Now, to say that those are the only three, no, those are just my opinion. You have a number of players that are possibly in the running, but they just don't have as much impact as those three players, for me personally. Again, I definitely would love to know how you guys feel about it. Who are your greatest players of all time? Well, guys, that is it for today's video. I definitely want to appreciate you guys and thank you for how patient you have been. I know it's been 2-3 years since I've last done one of these videos. We had a whole ass pandemic, me switching jobs. I'm probably gonna go into details a little bit later on a different video, but I definitely want to thank you on how patient you have been. If you like this kind of content, you know, I'm ramping it up. I'm gonna get back into the swing of things and really sit down and focus on how I'm gonna structure these YouTube videos. I do want to let you know that a lot of my Twitch live discussions are going to be related to videos that I upload onto YouTube, so they're going to be integrated together. So if you want to watch any kind of discussion videos, if you want to see them live, if you want to just join in the discussion, support me on that platform as well, twitch.tv/Wenster. I'm gonna put all my social media accounts down in the description so you guys could check that out. Again, a lot more videos coming. Update video is gonna come as well. But again, thank you so much. And with that being said, my name is Wenster. This is The Average Fighter, and I will check you guys out later. Peace out.